Hey gang, I am Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating life and journey of David Hamilton Koch, a man whose name became synonymous with wealth, influence, philanthropy, and power. Born on May 3, 1940, in Wichita, Kansas, David Koch grew up in a family that was already exceptional. His father, Fred Koch, was a pioneering chemical engineer who had built the foundation of Koch Industries, a business that would eventually become one of the largest privately held corporations in the world. But David's journey into becoming a billionaire was not just about inheriting money, it was a story of education, ambition, innovation, and making bold moves that would multiply opportunities into unimaginable wealth. Growing up, David was one of four brothers, alongside Charles, Frederick, and William. Their father instilled in him strict discipline and the importance of responsibility. Fred Koch wasn't just about making money, he taught his sons the value of hard work and the belief that wealth should be used wisely and productively. David's early education set him on a path toward greatness. He went to the prestigious Deerfield Academy, where he developed not only academic excellence but also the competitive edge that would later serve him in business. His passion, however, was engineering, and he pursued this dream at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT. At MIT, David earned both his bachelor's and master's degrees in chemical engineering, becoming deeply skilled in understanding industrial processes, energy systems, and the kind of scientific thinking that would later give him a unique perspective in business. But David Koch wasn't just a book-smart engineer, he was also an athlete and a competitor. At MIT, he became a star on the basketball team, standing 6 feet 5 inches tall and leaving his mark as the all-time single-game scoring record holder at the university. This mix of athletic determination and scientific expertise defined his personality: competitive, precise, and relentless in pursuit of results. In 1970, David joined Koch Industries, the family business founded by his father. At that time, Koch Industries was already a growing company, but nowhere near the global empire it would later become. Under the leadership of David and his brother Charles, the company transformed dramatically. They focused on expansion, diversification, and innovation, taking Koch Industries from a relatively small oil refining and chemicals operation into one of the largest privately held corporations in the world, involved in everything from energy and chemicals to manufacturing, trading, and even financial services. David's role was instrumental in expanding the company's presence in new areas, especially in refining and chemicals, where his engineering background was an asset. He became president of Koch Engineering in 1979 and used his expertise to modernize and expand operations. In 1983, after years of disputes with their other brothers Frederick and William, David and Charles bought out their shares, becoming co-owners of Koch Industries. This was a defining moment. The business was consolidated, streamlined, and fully under the control of David and Charles, and together they built it into a behemoth. Koch Industries grew revenues into the hundreds of billions, competing with some of the largest corporations on the planet while remaining privately held, which gave them unique control and flexibility in how the company operated. But David Koch's journey was not just about building wealth. He also became one of the most influential political activists and philanthropists in America. On the political side, he was a well-known supporter of libertarian ideals, championing smaller government, lower taxes, and more personal freedoms. In 1980, he even ran as the vice presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party, advocating ideas that were ahead of their time in terms of deregulation and economic freedom. Though the campaign didn't gain significant traction, it solidified his role as a figure who believed strongly in shaping society through both business and political influence. Philanthropy became another defining pillar of David Koch's identity. Throughout his lifetime, he donated billions of dollars to causes close to his heart. His contributions to medical research, the arts, and education left a permanent mark. He gave generously to cancer research, particularly after being diagnosed with prostate cancer himself in the 1990s. This personal battle pushed him to fund medical institutions and research centers in hopes of finding better treatments and saving lives. He donated hundreds of millions to institutions like the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MIT, and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. His passion for science and medicine was fueled not only by his engineering background, but also by his personal journey of survival and resilience. David's philanthropy extended beyond medicine. He gave massive donations to cultural and educational institutions. The Lincoln Center in New York, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the Smithsonian's Museum of Natural History all received transformative contributions from him. In fact, his name became permanently attached to some of these places, like the David H. Koch Theater at Lincoln Center and the David H. Koch Dinosaur Wing at the Smithsonian. He believed that wealth should not only grow businesses but also enrich society, and his donations reflected that belief. Of course, David Koch's journey wasn't without controversy. His political donations and influence often made him a target of criticism. Together with his brother Charles, he built one of the most powerful networks of political funding in American history, supporting libertarian and conservative causes. Critics argued that this allowed him to have too much influence on American politics, while supporters saw it as them using their wealth to protect economic freedoms. Whether admired or criticized, the Koch brothers were undeniably influential, shaping debates on energy, taxes, and the role of government in society. On a personal level, David Koch was known for being approachable, friendly, and often generous in social settings. Despite his wealth, he carried himself with a certain warmth and charm that made him stand out from the stereotype of cold billionaires. His battle with cancer lasted more than 2 decades, and his resilience was remarkable. Even as he faced personal health challenges, he continued to contribute to philanthropy, business, and politics, living a life filled with purpose. By the time of his passing on August 23, 2019, David Koch had built a legacy that extended far beyond money. He was worth more than $40 billion at the time of his death, ranking among the richest people in the world. But his impact could not be measured by numbers alone. He helped shape one of the largest corporations on earth, influenced politics in lasting ways, and left behind philanthropic contributions that continue to touch millions of lives. His journey is a reminder that wealth can be more than just numbers on a balance sheet. It can be a tool to shape the world, for better or worse, depending on how it's used. David Koch's story is ultimately about ambition, vision, and legacy. From the classrooms of MIT to the skyscrapers of Koch Industries, from the basketball court to the political stage, from cancer wards to grand theaters, his life was a mixture of battles won, dreams built, and values lived out. For those of us chasing financial freedom, his journey teaches important lessons. First, that knowledge and education can create powerful opportunities when combined with ambition. Second, that even inherited opportunities require hard work and vision to multiply. Third, that wealth carries responsibility, whether in shaping businesses, politics, or society. And finally, that resilience in the face of personal struggles is as important as financial success. When we look at David Koch's journey, we see the story of a man who turned his engineering mind into a business empire, who transformed his fortune into influence, and who used his wealth to both stir controversy and inspire change. His life is a blueprint of how ambition, when mixed with determination and opportunity, can turn into billions. And while not all of us will build an empire the size of Koch Industries, his journey reminds us that financial freedom isn't just about money, it's about what you do with it, how you shape your destiny, and how you leave behind a mark that outlives you.